Larry Bird wasn't just one of the greatest players in NBA history. He was one of the most feared. But it wasn't because of athleticism or flashy moves. It was the cold-blooded confidence, brutal trash talk, and unshakable mindset that made legends nervous. From outsmarting the quickest defenders to dominating clutch moments with ice in his veins, Bird earned respect the hard way. Even Hall of Famers admitted they couldn't figure him out or stop him. In this video, we dive into the real reasons NBA greats feared facing Larry Legend, and trust me, it goes deeper than just stats. 1. He wasn't the fastest, but he outsmarted everyone. Larry Bird wasn't built like your typical NBA superstar. He didn't possess lightning speed, jaw-dropping athleticism, or explosive dunks. But what he lacked in physical traits, he more than made up for with sheer intelligence and an unparalleled basketball IQ. NBA legends feared him not because of what he did physically, but because of what he saw before anyone else. Bird had this uncanny ability to read plays, anticipate moves, and execute strategies before his opponents could even react. He was always 2 steps ahead, seeing the game like a chess master rather than a mere player. Defenders often found themselves confused and frustrated, not because Bird outran them, but because he outthought them. His passes were razor-sharp, his positioning flawless, and his timing impeccable. Players who underestimated him quickly learned that Bird didn't need speed to dominate. His mind was the real weapon. NBA veterans would warn rookies, "Don't talk trash to Larry. He'll destroy you mentally and on the scoreboard." And time and again, he did. That's what made him truly dangerous. That's why even the greatest players feared him. Because Larry Bird didn't play the game. He understood it on a level most never could. 2. He could trash talk and back it up. Every time Larry Bird was the king of trash talk. And unlike most, he always backed it up. He wouldn't just tell you he was going to score. He'd tell you how, where, and when, and then do it. NBA stars feared his confidence because it wasn't arrogance. It was accuracy. Stories of him walking into games and telling entire benches he'd drop 40 points with his left hand aren't myths. They're documented moments of pure dominance. Legends like Magic Johnson and Charles Barkley have admitted Bird could break you down without even touching the ball, just with words. But what made it worse was that he followed it up with cold-blooded execution. He used his words to get in your head and then used his skills to tear you apart. He thrived under pressure and loved shutting people up. It wasn't just basketball to him, it was psychological warfare. And if you dared to challenge him, you'd better be ready for the storm. Larry Bird didn't just play opponents. He humiliated them. And that's why legends feared not only his game, but his mouth. 3. He played through pain. Like it was nothing. Larry Bird's toughness was the stuff of legend. While other players sat out with injuries, Bird battled through intense pain like a warrior. He played with a fractured cheekbone, sprained backs, and even severe back injuries that would have sidelined anyone else. Once, during a playoff game, he left the court holding his head after a hard fall, only to return minutes later, covered in bandages, and lead his team to a comeback win. That's who Bird was: relentless, fearless, and unbreakable. His opponents respected him not just for his skill, but for his insane durability and willpower. Players feared him because they knew no injury could slow him down. You couldn't out-tough him, and you couldn't wear him down. His pain threshold was simply unreal. Coaches and stars alike watched in disbelief as he put his body on the line every night, refusing to quit, refusing to sit. That kind of mentality scared even the toughest players. He wasn't just good, he was mentally invincible. And when a player refuses to break, even when his body is screaming, you realize you're facing more than just talent. You're facing a machine, and that's what made Larry Bird terrifying. 4. He had an ice-cold killer instinct in clutch moments. When the game was on the line, Larry Bird was ice-cold, in the best way possible. He didn't sweat, he didn't panic, he thrived. Legends feared him most in those final minutes, because they knew if Bird had the ball, the game was probably over. Time after time, he hit impossible shots, game winners, and buzzer beaters with a calm, assassin-like demeanor. And the craziest part? He wanted the pressure. He lived for it. Bird once told his coach, Get me the ball and we'll win. And he delivered, over and over again. He was the type of player who made you pray the clock would run out before he could touch it. Teammates called him fearless. Opponents called him deadly. You couldn't rush him, shake him, or block his focus. He was surgical in those moments, dissecting defenses like a surgeon. Fans held their breath. Defenders froze. Because everyone knew what was coming. A shot, a smirk, and a win. That cold-blooded instinct in the clutch is what separated Larry Bird from the rest, and made even the greatest players afraid of what he'd do next. 5. He didn't care who you were. Everyone got cooked. Larry Bird didn't care about your name, your status, or how many all-star selections you had. If you were on the court, you were fair game. Whether you were a rookie or a future Hall of Famer, Bird treated you the same, like someone he was going to torch. That lack of fear and total equality and destruction is what made NBA legends uneasy. He wasn't intimidated by superstars. In fact, he welcomed the challenge. If you came in hot, he made it his mission to cool you off. He once told a defender, "You better get someone else to guard me because I'm going for 50 tonight." And he did. He embarrassed big names, dominated physical defenders, and schooled rising stars. No one got a pass. And he didn't just beat them, he broke them. Players knew that if Bird had you in his sights, it didn't matter who you were. He was going to destroy you with skill, strategy, and swagger. That ruthless mentality of no mercy for anyone made even the best players fear facing him, because with Larry Bird, nobody was safe. 6. He was one of the smartest defenders in NBA history. While Larry Bird is often celebrated for his offense, what most forget, and what NBA legends never forgot, was how brilliant he was on defense. He wasn't the fastest or most athletic defender, but his positioning, anticipation, and court awareness made him elite. Bird could read a play before it happened. He'd intercept passes that seemed impossible to reach. He'd bait players into bad decisions and force turnovers without even touching them. His basketball IQ on the defensive end was a nightmare for flashy scorers. Many underestimated him, and they paid the price. He knew your favorite move before you used it. He'd block your lane, cut your rhythm, and frustrate you into bad shots. And the scariest part? He didn't even look like a defensive threat, which made it even more demoralizing when he shut you down. Teammates praised his communication and awareness, while opponents dreaded his traps. Larry Bird didn't need to jump out of the gym. He just needed to know where you were going. That chess master mentality on defense is what separated him from so many, and made him a complete nightmare on both ends of the court. 7. He gained respect by dominating with pure skill. In an era full of high-flying dunks and flashy athleticism, Larry Bird did it all with pure, raw skill. That's what made legends respect and fear him so much. He didn't rely on highlight plays. He relied on footwork, shooting, timing, and basketball brilliance. Everything Bird did looked simple, until you realized you couldn't stop it. He mastered the fundamentals so well that even the greatest defenders found themselves helpless. His jump shot was deadly. His passing was precise. His footwork, flawless. He made every movement count, wasting zero energy, but delivering maximum impact. And that's why legends feared him, because Bird proved that skill could destroy athleticism. He made the game look easy while making his opponents look confused. His craft was so refined, so polished, that defenders had no choice but to respect him, or be humiliated. You couldn't overpower him, outthink him, or outskill him. And in a league where physicality dominated, Bird reminded everyone that pure skill was still the deadliest weapon of all. Larry Bird changed the game without ever needing to shout for attention. He let his game, grit, and genius do all the talking. And that's what scared the best. Whether it was his unmatched IQ, his ability to dominate through pain, or his fearless approach to the biggest moments, Bird wasn't just a great player. He was a relentless force. Legends didn't just respect him, they dreaded playing against him. That fear? It came from knowing that Larry would find any weakness and exploit it. If you like this breakdown, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more stories of true NBA greatness.